We finally enter the first chapter of this beautiful classic Tao Te Ching. So I hope you're ready, and I am too. So Lao Tzu, or Lao Tzu, Book 1, 1. The way that can be spoken of is not the constant way. The name that can be named is not the constant name. The nameless was the beginning of the heaven and earth. Not named was the mother of myriad creatures. Hence, always rid yourself of desires in order to observe its secrets. But always allow yourself to have desires in order to observe its manifestations. These two are the same, but diverge in the name as they issue forth. Being the same, they are called mysteries, mystery upon mystery, the gateway of manifold secrets. Second, the whole world recognizes the beautiful as the beautiful, yet this is only the ugly. The whole world recognizes good as the good, yet this is only the bad. Thus, something and nothing produce each other. The difficult and the easy complement each other. The long and the short offset each other. The high and the low incline towards each other. Note and the sound harmonize with each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore, the sage keeps to the dead that it consists in taking no action and practices a teaching that uses no words. The myriad creatures rise from it, yet it claims no authority. It gives them life, yet it claims no possession. It benefits them, yet exacts no gratitude. It accomplishes its task, yet lays claim to no merit. It is because it lays claim to no merit that its merit never deserts it. Third, not to honor men of worth will keep the people from contention. Not to value goods which are hard to come by will keep them from theft. Not to display what is desirable will keep them from being unsettled of mind. Therefore, in governing the people, the sage empties their minds but fills their bellies, weakens their wills but strengthens their bones. He always keeps them innocent of knowledge and free from desire, ensures that the clever never dare to act. Do that which consists taking no action in order will prevail. It's beautiful. 4. The way is empty, yet use will not drain it. Deep, it is like the ancestor of the myriad creatures. Blunt the sharpness, untangle the knots, soften the glare. Let your wheels move only along old ruts. Dark, visible, it only seems as if it were there. I know not whose son it is. It images the forefather of God. 5. Heaven and earth are ruthless and treat the myriad creatures as straw dogs. The sage is ruthless and treats the people as straw dogs. Is not the space between heaven and earth like bellows? It is empty without being exhausted. The more it works, the more comes out. Much speech leads inevitably to silence. Better to hold fast to the void. 6. The spirit of the valley never dies. This is called the mysterious female. The gateway of the mysterious female is called the root of heaven and earth. Dimly visible, it seems as if they were there, yet use will never drain it. 7. Heaven and earth are enduring. The reason why heaven and earth can be enduring is that they do not give themselves life. Hence, they are able to be long lived. Therefore, the sage puts his person last and it comes first, treats it's an extraneous to himself and is preserved. It is not because he is without thought of self that he is able to accomplish his private ends. 8. Highest good like is water. Highest good is like water, because water excels in benefiting the myriad creatures, without contending with them, and settles where none would like to be. It comes close to the way, in a home that is sight that matters, in quality of mind that it is depth that matters. In an ally, it is benevolence that matters. In speech, it is good faith that matters. In government, it is order that matters. In affairs, it's ability that matters. In actions, it is timelessness that matters. It is because it does not contend that it is never at pause. 9. Rather than fill into the brim by keeping it upright, better to have stopped in time. Hammer it to a point, and the sharpness cannot be preserved forever. There may be gold and jade to fill a hall, but there is none who can keep them. To be overbearing when one has wealth and position is to bring calamity upon oneself. To retire when the task is accomplished is way of heaven. 10. When carrying on your head your perplexed bodily soul, can you embrace in your arms the one and not let go? In concentrating your breath, you can become as supple as a baby. Can you polish your mysterious mirror and leave no blemish? Can you love the people and govern the state without resorting to action? When the gates of heaven open and shut, are you capable of keeping the role of the female? When your discernment penetrates the four quarters, are you capable of not knowing anything? It gives them life and rears them. It gives them life, yet claims no possession. It benefits them, yet exacts no gratitude. It is the steward, yet exercises no authority. Such is called the mysterious virtue. 27. Sorry, it's 11. 27. 30 spokes share one hub. Adapt the nothing therein to the purpose in hand, and you will have the use of a cart. Knead clay in order to make a vessel. Adapt the nothing therein to purpose in hand, and you will have the use of the vessel. Cut out doors and windows in order to make a room. Adapt nothing, adapt the nothing therein to the purpose in hand, and you will have the use of the room. Thus, what we gain is something, yet it is by virtue of nothing that this can be put to use. 12. The five colors make man's eyes blind. The five notes makes his ear deaf. The five tastes injure his palate. Riding and hunting make his mind go wild with excitement. Goods are hard to come by, serve to hinder his progress. Hence the sage is for the belly, not for the eye. Therefore he discards the one and takes the other. 13. Favor and disgrace are the things that startle. High rank is, like one's body, a source of great trouble. What is meant by saying that favor and disgrace are things that startle? Favor, when it is bestowed on a subject, serves to startle as much as when it is withdrawn. This is what is meant by saying that favor and disgrace are things that startle. What is meant by saying that high rank is like one's body, a source of great trouble? The reason I have great trouble is that I have a body. When I no longer have a body, what troubles have I? Hence, he who values his body more than dominion over the empire can be trusted with the empire. He who loves his body more than dominion over the empire can be given custody of the empire. 14. What cannot be seen is called evanescence. What cannot be heard is called rare field. What cannot be touched is called minute. These three cannot be fathomed, and so they are confused and look upon as one. Its upper part is not dazzling, its lower part is not obscure, dimly visible, it cannot be named, and returns to that which is without substance. This is called the shape that has no shape, the image that is without a substance. This is called indistinct and shadowy. Go up to it, and you will not see its head. Follow behind it, and you will not see its rear. Hold fast to the way of antiquity, in order to keep in control the realm of today. The ability to know the beginning of antiquity is called the thread running through the way. So beautiful, so beautiful. I'm just having like a little challenge trying to select and mark it. So we're on the 15th one now. Of all he who sells, sorry, if of all he who was well versed in the way was minutely subtle, mysteriously comprehending, and too profound to be known, it is because he could not be known that he can be only given makeshift description, tentative as if fording a river in winter, hesitant as if in fear of his neighbors, formal like a guest, falling apart like a thawing ice, thick like the uncarved block, vacant like a valley, murky like muddy water. Who can be muddy and yet settling slowly and become limpid? Who can be at rest and yet stirring slowly come to life? He who holds fast to this way desires not to be full. It is because he is not too full that he can be worn and yet newly made. I just jumped ahead. Just hold on with me, guys, and just try and navigate back to the chapter. So we are on the 16th one. I do my utmost to attain emptiness. I hold firmly to stillness. The myriad creatures all rise together, and I watch their return. The teeming creatures all return to their separate roots. Returning to one's roots is known as stillness. This is what is meant by returning to one's destiny. Returning to one's destiny is known as the constant. Knowledge of the constant is known as the discernment. Woe to him who willfully innovates, while ignorant of the constant. But should one act from knowledge of the constant, one's action will lead to impartiality to kingliness, kingliness to heaven, heaven to the way to the perpetuity, and to the end of one's days, one will meet with no danger. 17. The best of all rulers is but a shadowy presence to his subjects. Next comes the ruler they love and praise. Next comes one they fear. Next comes with whom they take liberties. When there is not enough faith, there is lack of good faith. Hesitant, he does not utter words lightly. When his task is accomplished and his work done, the people all say, "It happened to us naturally." 18. When the great way falls into disuse, there are benevolence and rectitude. When cleverness emerges, there is great hypocrisy. When the six relations are variance, there are filial children. When the state is benighted, there are loyal ministers. 19. Exterminate the sage, discard the wise, and the people will benefit a hundredfold. Exterminate benevolence, discard rectitude, and the people will again be filial. Exterminate ingenuity, discard profit, and there will be no more thieves and bandits. These three, being false adornments, are not enough, and the people must have something to which they can attach themselves. Exhibit the unadorned and embrace the uncarved block. Have little thought of self and as few desires as possible. 20th. Exterminate learning and there will be no longer words. Between yeah and nay, how much difference is there? Between good and evil, how great is the distance? What others fear, one must also fear, and wax without having reached the limit. The multitude are joyous, as if partaking of the Tai Lao offering or going up to a terrace in spring. I am alone, inactive, and reveal no signs, like a baby that has not yet learned to smile, listless as though with no home to go back to. The multitude all have more than enough. I alone seem to be in want. My mind is that of a fool. How blank! Vulgar people are clear. I alone am drowsy. Vulgar people are alert. I alone am muddled. Calm like the sea, like a high wind that never ceases. The multitude all have a purpose. I alone am foolish and uncouth. I alone am different from others, and I value being fed by the mother. 21. In his every moment of a man of great virtue follows the way and the way only. As a thing is the way is shadowy, indistinct and shadowy, yet within it is an image, shadowy and indistinct, yet within it is a substance, dim and dark, yet within it is an essence. This essence is quite genuine, and within it is something that can be tested from the present back to antiquity. Its name never deserted it. It serves as a means for inspecting the fathers of the multitude. How do I know that the fathers of multitude are like that? By means of this. 22. Bow down to the preserved, bow down and then preserved. Bent, then straight, hollow, then full, worn, then new, a little, then benefited, a lot, then perplexed. Therefore, the sage embraces the one and is the model for the empire. He does not show himself, and so is conspicuous. He does not consider himself right, and so is illustrious. He does not brag, and so has merit. He does not boast, and so endures. It is because he does not contend that no one is the empire in his position to contend with him. The way the ancients had it, bowed down, then preserved, is no empty saying. Truly, it enables one to be preserved to the end. 23. To use words but rarely is to be natural. Hence, a gusty wind cannot last all morning, and a sudden downpour cannot last all day. Who is it that produces these? Heaven and earth. If even heaven and earth cannot go on forever, much less can man. And that is why one follows the way. A man of the way conforms to the way. A man of virtue conforms to virtue. A man of loss conforms to loss. He who conforms to the way is gladly accepted by the way. He who conforms to virtue is gladly accepted by virtue. He who conforms to loss is gladly accepted by loss. When there is not enough faith, there is lack of good faith. 24. He who tiptoes cannot stand. He who strides cannot walk. He who shows himself is not conspicuous. He who considers himself right is not illustrious. He who brags will have no merit. He who boasts will not endure. From the point of view of these are excessive food and useless extra senses, as there are things that detest them and detest them. He who has the way does not abide in them. 25. There is a thing confusedly formed, born before heaven and earth, silent and void. It stands alone and does not change, goes round and does not vary. It is capable of being the mother of the world. I know not its name, so I style it the way. I give it the makeshift name of the great. Being great, it is further described as receding. Receding, it is described as far away. Being far away, it is described as turning back. Hence, the way is great, heaven is great, earth is great, and the king is also great. Within the realms, there are four things that are great, and the king counts as one. Man models himself on earth, earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so. 26. The heavy is the root of the light, the still is the lord of the restless. Therefore, The gentleman, when traveling all day, never lets the heavily laden carts out of his sight. It is only when he is safely behind walls and watchtowers that he rests peacefully and is above worries. How, then, should a ruler, often thousand chariots, make light of his own person in the eyes of the empire? If light, then root is lost. If restless, then Lord is lost. 17. 27. One who excels in traveling leaves no wheel tracks. One who excels in speech makes no slips. One who excels in reckoning uses no counting rods. One who excels in shutting uses no bolts, yet what he has to shut cannot be opened. One who excels in trying to use no cords, yet what he has tied cannot be undone. Therefore, the sage always excels in saving people, and so abandons no one, always excels in saving things, and so abandons nothing. This is called following one's discernment. Hence, the good man is the teacher of the bad, learns from, and the bad man is the material of the good works on. Not to value the teacher, not to value the material. Though it seems clever, betrays the great bewilderment. This is called the essential and the secret. 28. Know the male, but keep to the role of the female, and be a ravine to the empire. If you're a ravine to the empire, then the constant virtue will not desert you, and you will again return being a baby. Know the white, but keep the role of the black, and be a model to the empire. If you're a model to the empire, then constant virtue will not be wanting, and you will return to the infinite. Know honor, but keep the role of the disgraced, and be a value to the empire. If you are a value to the empire, then the constant virtue will be sufficient, and you will return to being the uncarved block. When the uncarved block shatters, it becomes vessels. The sage makes use of these and becomes the lord over the officials. Hence, the greatest cutting does not sever. Wow, it's beautiful. I'm going to read this one again. 28. Know the male, but keep to the role of the female, and be a ravine to the empire. If you are a ravine to the empire, then the constant virtue will not desert you, and you will gain return to being a baby. Know the white, but keep the role of the black, and be a model to the empire. If you're a model to the empire, then the constant virtue will not be wanting, and you will return to the infinite. No honor, but keep the role of the disgraced, and be a valley to the empire. If you're a valley to the empire, then the constant virtue will be sufficient, and you will return to being the uncarved block. When the uncarved block shatters, it becomes vessels. The sage makes use of these and becomes a lord over the officials. Hence, the greatest cutting does not sever. 29. Whoever takes the empire and wishes to do uh, anything to it, I see will have no respite. Let me read that again. Whoever takes the empire and wishes to do anything to it, I see will have no respite. The empire is a sacred vessel, and nothing should be done to it. Whoever does anything to it will ruin it. Whoever lays hold of it, it will lose it. Hence, some lead and some follow. Some breathe gently and some breathe hard. Some are strong and some are weak. Some destroy and some are destroyed. Therefore, the sage avoids excess, extravagance, and arrogance. 30th. One who assists the ruler of men by means of the way does not intimidate the empire by a show of arms. This is something which is liable to rebound. Where troops have encamped, there were brambles grow. In the wake of a mighty army, bad harvests follow without fail. One who is good aims only at bringing his campaign to a conclusion, and dare not thereby intimidate. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not boast. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not be arrogant. Bring it to a conclusion, but only when there is no choice. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not intimidate. A creature in his prime doing harm to the old is known as going against the way. That which goes against the way will come to an early end. 31. It is because arms are instruments of ill omen and there are things that detest them that one who has the way does not abide by their use. The gentleman gives precedence to the left when at home, but to the right when he goes to war. Arms are instruments of all ill omen, but not the instruments of the gentleman. When one is compelled to use them, it is best to do so without relish. There is no glory in victory, and to glorify it despite this is to exult in killing of the men. One who exults in the killing of men will never have his way in the empire. On occasions of rejoicing, precedence is given to the left. On occasions of mourning, precedence is given to the right. A lieutenant's place is on the left. The general's place is on the right. This means that it is mourning rites that are observed. When great numbers of people are killed, one should weep over them with sorrow. When victorious in war, one should observe the rites of the mourning.